Good morning and good afternoon. Happy Saturday. Welcome back to another episode of DCTV. If you didn't read the title already, that you'll see that this video is about why the Bengals will draft Joe Burrow and the effects Joe Burrow will have. This video excites me a lot because, as you can tell, I was born and raised in the Cincinnati area, and the sports, haven't been the greatest since I've been born. Also, I am going to put a note out there that because I'm a Cincinnati native, I'm going to try to keep all biased thoughts and opinions out of this video as much as possible. So let's get into it. So I'm going to go ahead, and before we get into things, I'm going to cut to the footage that I just got for announcing the winner of the giveaway. Oh, you're here for the giveaway, huh? You can follow me. Watch the setup. So yes, as you know, that's my very first video. I did a little giveaway action, so let's get into it. I have all the names of all the people who commented in the video. Pick a random name, here we go. Salabon Farah. So congratulations, I'll come give you the little gift card. Thank you for all doing it. Congrats to Salabon on winning the giveaway. I'm sure there'll be more. Make sure you smash that like button and comment and let me know you want to do more giveaways. I'll be sure to do that in the future. Now we know by all means, the Cincinnati Bengals organization has not been great at all, by any means. I've actually looked into it, and they've one of the cheapest sports organizations in this past decade of all sports. NHL, NBA, NFL, any you call it, they're one of the cheapest organizations in this past decade or two. And it's pretty sad, but we've seen a lot of changes in free agency. They've really gone aggressive. They've tacked really intriguing free agents, and I'm super excited. And we all know that they have that first pick of the draft in the NFL to get Joe Burrow. If we look at some of the accusations, they got Trey Waynes and Mackenzie Alexander, both swiping away from the Minnesota Vikings now head coach Mike Zimmer, who was the defensive coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals in 08-13. You also have DJ Reader, a 6'3", 237-pound big man defensive tackle, just trying to clog up holes for running, and he's going to do really well. Finally, you have Von Bell, a huge ball-hawking safety out from New Orleans. I'm really excited. The secondary is really spiced up. The thing that intrigues me most about Von Bell is that he has some grit. Ever since the loss to Pittsburgh back in the playoffs game a long time ago with the Antonio Brown thing and the Adam Pac-Man Jones penalty, not going to get into that. But ever since then, the Bengals have really lost that grit. The reason that defense was so good because they had grit. And Von Bell brings that to the table, and I love it. And I can't wait to see him on the field. Now, we've also seen them re-sign a few players. They franchise tag A.J. Green, who I will assume that they will get in a contract with later on in the season for him to retire as a Bengal. As he said that he's came out and said he wants to be he liked what Larry Fitzgerald did with the Cardinals, and he said he would want to do the same thing with the Bengals. That has been said. There also have been a few other players who have been cut for cap space, such as Drake Kirkpatrick. He was a pretty decent corner, but he was just holding down way more money than what he was worth. I don't know if they didn't want to work a deal with them or if they just never could come to a deal, but he was cut for some cap space. I'm not going to touch too hard on the national media tear that Cincinnati has been fighting these past few months since they got the first pick, but if you're really interested, go watch Mel Kiper's rant of the Bengals, like basically backing up the Bengals. It was amazing. His back was against the wall, and it was a truthful answer, and I loved it. So Mel Kiper, go look it up. His rant was amazing. Like I said, I am a Cincinnati native, so I can't speak nationally, but I can speak locally. And locally, we know that we have a bunch of young talent on our team. I can't speak nationally, but I can speak locally, and I do know there's a bunch of talent on this Bengals roster. And I will start with the rising star in the backfield, as in Joe Mixon. He can run downhill like any other running back out of Oklahoma, just like Adrian Peterson. But what intrigues me is that I see him getting really involved in the receiving game this year with Joe Mixon doing little dump passes to him. I really see them doing a lot of mixtures where they're putting plays in to get the ball out of Joe's hands quick. Little shortcut passes to Boyd, little dump passes to Mixon. I really see him having a blow-up year this year. Now, don't sleep on the Bengals wide receiver core. They obviously have veteran A.J. Green, and then they have Tyler Boyd, who's blown up the past 2 years, and then they have rising star Auden Tate, who really shined last year because of A.J. Green being out. He reminds me just like A.J. Green, though. He's kind of funny. Dude has major hops, and he's huge. So the wide receiver core for the Bengals, I think, is very slept on, and it's going to help. I think that this year it's going to show that they're a really great group of guys. Now, we know the offensive line situation has been ferocious for the Bengals the past decade or two. Ever since they let Whitworth walk, it has just been a crap show. It's been so bad, and I know that's a nightmare that still haunts Mike Brown and the Bengals organization to this day. But anyways, they've tried to fix it recently. If you look at their first-round pick last year, they drafted an offensive tackle in Jonah Williams. Now, unfortunately, he did get injured, which caused him to miss the whole season. But you can't forget they also had Cody Glenn, who they signed, I believe, but he was basically out the whole year with concussions as well. 2 key offensive linemen that's going to be able to see the field this year. Now, I do suspect the Bengals to make more moves, either with later picks in the draft or possible trades, or, I don't know, maybe signings. I do suspect them to maybe keep trying to work it. I mean, last year, the offensive line was terrible. They moved so many players around. It reminds me of the Vikings. Vikings do the same thing. They just move players around and just test and try different things. That's exactly what the Bengals were doing. Hopefully, they can find something that it just works sweet. That's what I'm hoping for. But if they can get these guys to go, there's going to be a good young group of guys that can get behind Joe Burrow, hopefully for a long time. But I will say if Whitworth was still on the team, who is still in the league today, just signed a 2-year deal in free agency, I believe the oldest lineman in the NFL. I believe the oldest, if not one of the oldest. And he's still one of the best tackles, if not the best tackle in the NFL. So that's incredible. Good for him. Let's talk defense. The defensive line, it's pretty good. You have Geno Atkins, Carlos Dunlap, and then you got the guy they just signed, DJ Reader, who's going to help probably be, I would assume, a 2-down nose tackle, who's going to be in there trying to nose stuff guys. I mean, he's going to be in there. He's just a big boy. Hopefully this frees up Carlos Dunlap, and I would like to see Geno Atkins. I don't know if they're going to rotate in between the two. I'm not sure if Geno's going to be a 2-down and he's going to come in. I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but I know that's definitely a lot of depth on that team, so I'm really excited for that. Now, also, don't forget about Sam Hubbard. I think he's more of a local guy because Ohio State and then now the Bengals, but don't forget about him. I think he's going to have a really great year, and I can't wait to see this defensive line. I think they're going to be really nice this year. Now, the linebacking crew, there's a lot of young guys there, but I think there's a lot of experience to learn. Once again, I think this is another position that could be, in the draft, it can be taken care of. Don't forget about Andy Dalton. I have no idea what the Bengals are waiting for with Andy Dalton, but I'm hoping a trade. I hope they get something out of him, either a pick or they can get an offensive lineman, maybe a veteran linebacker, something super intriguing. I just can't wait. I might make a whole video on that. Let me know in the comment section if you want to see a video on Andy Dalton or any other topics in the NFL or NBA, anything, just let me know. Now, if they do decide to trade for a pick, they do have all 7 of their picks, I believe just 1 through 7, if I'm correct. So that's just even more picks to either help trade with Andy Dalton to package a deal or just trade for more talent to get that linebacking crew and everything else under order. Now getting into the effect Joe Burrow will have. I'm not going to sit here and bore you with accolades that he built up in college, but I will sit here and tell you that he had one of the best seasons in college football history by a player, if not the best ever, which is super crazy and important. Now, I will say this. Burrow has the whole city on their toes. I know people who've already bought jerseys. I'm waiting to buy mine. Hopefully they come out on draft night. But the whole city is behind him and full of support. On Twitter, recently I've seen Chad Johnson, former Bengals receiver, support and tell Burrow, like, hey, man, this is the city to be in. The city will back you up more than anything, and that he loves the city. And Burrow actually responded with a like on one of Chad's posts. Chad literally said, I'm going to put up on screen. I don't remember what he said exactly, but he said something along the lines like, hey, you don't have to reply to me, but like if you see this, or like if you agree. And literally there's a photo, you can see Burrow. He was one of the first people to like the post, and it was just crazy. So thank you, Chad, for everything you're doing with the city. But fan-wise, the majority of the city is 10 toes down for Burrow. They are ready for a whole new decade of Cincinnati Bengal football with Burrow on the throne. I mean, it's crazy. It's a cult over here. I'm not even lying. I can already imagine going to a Bengals game and seeing the arena filled with 99% of Burrow jerseys and 1% of other players. I can already see it. And I can imagine this is how Patriots games were for the past 2 decades. As a fun fact, Tom Brady was a top 3 in sport jersey sales for the past 18 years. That's crazy. Now, personally, I just hope the organization and owner Mike Brown will continue finding pieces of the puzzle to make Joe Burrow a perfect fit. They need to keep building. They haven't done enough, but if they keep doing more, they're on the right path, for sure. Joe Burrow came out and said that he was a born winner and he wants to keep winning. So if the Bengals keep helping him, keep building around him, that's definitely going to be able to happen. With less than a week away from the draft, I'm super eager, as I bet all of you are, to see the results and how everything pans out. Now that's about it I have for everything in this video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to comment any ideas you have for future videos. Don't forget, Tuesdays and Saturdays at noon Eastern time. Tuesdays and Saturdays, and if there's any breaking news, I'll come with a video that day. Other than that, that's about it. I'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, I think about you all day, and at night I watch the stars shoot. I know love is not a game, but I can't control what my heart do. I fucked up so many times, I know you thinking